Okay, so I just finished watching the Mandalorian episode 5, uh, or in spoiler terms, the Ahsoka Tano episode, which, if you had not seen uh, the last time, or last week's episode, let me just put this back up, um, or the last review that I did, episode 3, with the Bogatana episode where they name dropped the Sokatano. And it's like, so we all knew that this episode was going to happen. Um, there were rumors that Ahsoka would appear this season and a certain actress would play this character. Uh, Safe to say, the rumors are true. I'm disappointed about that. That the rumors were true. That we had rumors to begin with. I, I really wish that we did not get those leaks. While they gave us something to hype up about, they also took away a genuine moment of shock. Because honestly, this would have been much more shocking if I had no idea that Ahsoka Tano was going to be in the show. Um, but besides that, what did I think of this episode? I liked it. I really did. I really have to contemplate this because Ahsoka is a very important character to Star Wars and also to me. Um, I stated before, I grew up watching the Clone Wars. I was there from the very beginning. I watched the movie when it first came out. I watched the show, and I watched it weekly, very early on. So I was in love with the show very early on, and so Ahsoka's character was just something that I grew up with. Uh, was she the perfect character in Clone Wars? Oh no, no, she had her problems. I know very early on I was not a big fan of her character, mainly because uh, I just thought it strange that Anakin would have a Padawan. But I grew on her, and when she appeared in Star Wars Rebels, I was really excited to see her character because I really enjoyed it. Um, and so going into this, starting with the first scene, they start the scene on the planet of Corvus, and I was watching the first scene and I was thought, huh, it's a strange scene because like we're seeing all these guys searching a forest, and I'm thinking, like, what's with that? Like, what's with this strange opening? Um, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get these white lightsabers, and I'm like, what? This is happening now? So, even though I knew Ahsoka was coming this episode, and I knew she was coming for a long time, I still had a moment of shock because of how quickly she showed up. She is the cold opener in this episode, and she showed up. She just like starts being a boss with her white lightsabers. Which let me say, those white lightsabers look so beautiful in live action. Man, I loved seeing them. Like they were so cool in Star Wars Rebels, but they're so much better in live action in their proper thickness. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. Oh man, I I really enjoyed that. And of course, the actress for Ahsoka is Rosario Dawson, which they also rumored so long ago. Which I think Rosario Dawson is a good actress. I think she does a good job. But there is a bit of disappointment in that. Honestly, Ahsoka Tano is Ashley Eckstein. You can't have Ahsoka Tano without Ashley Eckstein. She makes the character. It's her character. She voiced the character for at least 10 years now, even more. She's been voicing this character, not just in Clone Wars, but in Star Wars Rebels. Heck, even in The Rise of Skywalker, her voice as Ahsoka Tano is in it, very subtly. But she's there. And it's weird having Rosario Dawson's voice come out of that Ahsoka Tano because I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big fan of Ahsoka Tano's voice in this episode. Just because Ahsoka Tano's voice is classic. Because that's all you got. That's all you've had of Ahsoka for the past 10 years is her voice. And now you change that. And it's strange. Not to say that Rosario does a bad job trying to do her voice. I don't think she's even trying to do her voice. But like, when she first started speaking, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Rosario Dawson. Because, she has pretty, a pretty uh, standard recognizable voice. Um, but yeah, her look is it's just really hard to believe. What I just saw, just seeing Ahsoka Tano. Like, whoever thought that this would ever happen? Like Ahsoka Tano in live action. Man, I thought that wasn't possible for so many years. Like, I wanted it as a kid. I always thought, like, what would she look like in live action? I didn't know. But I knew that I was intrigued by the prospects of what that would be. Even think about what actress would play her in live action. Because, let's be honest, while Ashley Eckstein's voice is a good fit for Ahsoka, I don't know that she could play it off in uh, physicality. Because Ahsoka's kind of a taller character. Ashley, not so much. But, man, I don't know. Uh, I think in a perfect world, uh, we would have the Rosario Dawson Ahsoka voiced by Ashley. Pretty much how they did Darth Maul and Solo. We had Ray Park, and then being voiced by Sam Witwer. They did that again in the Clone Wars with the fight scene, which was really cool because they had Ray Park do some motion capturing. Um, so yeah, how does Ahsoka look like? It was really strange, to be honest, like seeing her in live action, because it's like her tendrils. Sorry, her Luka. Just they look so strange to me for some reason. Just there's something off about them. Um, I do feel like her Luka may have been too short, because it's like I don't know. They look too short for me, as compared to when she was in Rebels. Because in Rebels, they were much longer. They looked like a much more older Ahsoka, especially like her top design. I think they started to go out more in Rebels, which this is more about the unreliability of the Star Wars Rebels TV show, but in their character design because let's be honest, it's not the best translation of design because it's more stylized in the Ralph McQuarrie art design. So I guess there's some liberties that are taken from there that they change a bit. But yeah, it was very strange because I do honestly feel like her Luca should have been much longer, especially on the front because they were much longer in the show. I'm nitpicking, of course, but it's like I don't know. I like consistency in things, so we'll see. Um, we learned a good question about if Beskar can actually deflect lightsaber, and they can. Very luckily for Mando because he almost died there. Um, so that does bring up an interesting question. Because well, that's strange. I don't know we actually seen a lightsaber pierce Beskar before. Like I could have sworn we seen that in Clone Wars. Maybe. I don't know. Uh, I don't know if the armor in Clone Wars is actually Beskar. I would think it is. I honestly would, cause it that is something I've been questioning a lot because Mando's armor has been deflecting a lot of laser bolts, but we've seen Mandalorians die by a lot of laser bolts before. A good example would be in the Siege of Mandalore, clones against Mandalorians. I would assume those Mandalorians have some kind of Beskar, but so it's something I'm going to assume, and like this is just an assumption. I feel like the older the Beskar is, the more it can be pierced. That's my assumption because I feel like Mendo has a better chance because he has a much more recently manufactured Beskar. That's what I'm gonna assume because his Beskar armor is brand new. You're gonna get that look. Honestly, I'm probably reaching, but that's the only explanation I could have because I don't know how that happens. And they also show that Boba Fett's armor got deflected as well, but you have that blaster bolt insignia on his helmet there from the duel with Cad Bane. And it's like, so the armor's supposed to deflect. How did that dent happen, though? It deflected, it saved Boba, but it's still a dent. Something that we don't see in Mando. Um, which is strange. Uh, I guess I don't know. Was Mando's armor in the first couple episodes was that Beskar as well, but older Beskar? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I really don't know how all this looks. Because Bo-Katan, is her armor Beskar? I would assume it is. But I will also assume that she could be shot. Because armor, I do know that their armor, gets passed down from generation to generation. For many generations, I know that Sabine said that she had her armor for hundreds of years, her family. So I don't know. I really don't know how this works. But back to Ahsoka, I really enjoyed seeing her. Let's be honest. Like again, I never would have believed that this moment would happen. An animated character making live action. I forgot about Saul Guerrero because when I last talked about this with Bo Katan, Saul Guerrero happened in Rogue One. I don't think that when Saul came, it was intentional. I believe the story was they had Forrest Whitaker. He came up and they just looked at him and his design and said, I guess he kind of looks like Saul Guerrero. Yeah, let's just make him Saul. I don't think it was their intention from the beginning to make him Saul Guerrero. I don't actually know this, but that was the rumor way back when. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but yeah. But this feels intentional. It feels like they wanted Bo Katan and they got her. It feels like they wanted Ahsoka Tano and they got her. Heck, they showed Darth Maul in Solo, but that also did not feel intentional. It felt like something added on, which it was added on last minute. But yeah, Ahsoka, awesome. Really love seeing her. We learned some things about Baby Yoda. Uh, in that his name is Grogu, which is interesting. That's a interesting name. But the more surprising thing about it, not just Grogu, was that but Baby Yoda was on Coruscant in the Jedi Temple, which is I just thought was so strange because it's like, whoa, what really? But it does make sense because Baby Yoda is at least 50 years old, and the events took of the prequels took place roughly 25 to 30 years, and so yeah, he would have been roughly old enough to be at the Jedi Temple. But it just sounded so strange because it felt like so long ago. And I don't know. I don't know. I honestly thought that Baby Yoda was not involved with the Jedi to begin with, and he was found in the wild or something. But now we know that he was taken from his home and brought to the Jedi Temple, which begs the question: where's he from? Is he from Yoda? I don't know. I hope not. I really hope he's not from Yoda, cause I don't know. That would just sound so strange. But you know, we had Yaddle. Maybe Yaddle is something. I don't know. I, I don't really know any of this. I'm just guessing at this point. But yeah, my theory is Yaddle because we had know nothing of her. It would be cool to give her something. But yeah, at the end of the episode, go back to Ahsoka. We got the name drop of Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is really cool to hear. Again, in live action, Grand Admiral Thrawn is back, baby. Yes, he's relevant. People in live action can actually care about Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is yeah. So Ahsoka's still on that mission. That's where we are in this timeline here. But she's not with Sabine, which is interesting. So I don't know where they are. I think it would have been cool to see Sabine. I don't know if we'll see her later on, maybe, but I think it would be cool. I think what would be even cooler is to make Sabine relevant is that she's an artist. Why don't we have her paint Mando's armor? That'd be a cool thing to have, because, I do feel like he could have some bit more distinct color scheme than just that silver. It definitely help make him his own character. Even though the silver is kind of unique to him right now, I think a nice paint job would give him a bit more personality. Because Mandalorians, they can do paint jobs. They've had paint jobs before, but if we have Sabine, I think that's just a good reason to have her there, is they give Mando the paint job. So yeah, there's so many thoughts to have about this episode, but overall, I was not displeased with seeing Ahsoka. I enjoyed it. I loved it. Her fight scenes were really cool. There was a moment where I was seeing her. She did a lot of her fighting with just the normal, dual wield, with just a normal stance, and I thought like, okay, they're doing that because it's more practical. Like, I do wish. Then I thought, oh, I do kind of wish that they showed off her classic, impractical, uh, underhand saber. And as soon as I thought that, they did that, and I thought, oh, okay, that's cool. And it was cool. It was cool. It was impractical, but it was cool to see that. It was really neat. So yeah, final thoughts. Really cool episode. I need to watch it again to just really have it sink in, but I think I like it. I think I like it. Man, this is an achievement. Ahsoka Tano in live action. Just Ahsoka Tano in live action. Ahsoka Tano. The Ahsoka Tano. Anakin Skywalker's Padawan, Ahsoka Tano. First created in Star Wars The Clone Wars in the movie back in 2008. In live action in the year of 2020 of our Lord. Ahsoka Tano in live action. Speaking more about Ahsoka Tano, is that while I was really struggling, just like wanting to see Ahsoka Tano just in this, because it's like, okay, Rosario Dawson, you have a lot to work with, but there are moments where every time Rosario Dawson smiles, I'm like, that's Ahsoka. Like her smile just fits Ahsoka. It really does. Like she does this smile and this like slight head turn like that. I'm like, that's Ahsoka Tano. That looks like Ahsoka Tano whenever she does that. And it made me so happy when I saw that. Because most of the episode, she kind of had like a stern face, and I thought like, that's interesting. We don't normally see Ahsoka like that because animation is different, especially in Rebels. She wasn't really like that. She was more peaceful in the animation versus here she was more fierce, which was it was really strange to see. But whenever she did that smile, I'm like, oh, that is Ahsoka Tano. Oh, it looks like her so much. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts. And also, it was really strange to actually see Ahsoka like kill some fools because they wouldn't allow her to do that in Star Wars Rebels. So it was a change of pace, and it was like, oh, okay. It's really been a long time since we've seen that, and when normally we don't actually see Ahsoka kill, but she's killing fools in this episode. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a strange thing that I've never seen before. But you know what? It makes sense. I think Rebels just really, man, Rebels. What you were doing? Like, come on, you should use your lightsabers for once. Actually, kill some fools instead of just chop their weapons and do weird maneuvers to get the stormtroopers out of there. Just chop them up. What do you have your swords for, huh? I know it's a kid show, but yeah, yeah, actual use of lightsaber in this episode. I think we were all expecting Moff Gideon to show up and have a fight with Ahsoka, but I'm glad. I'm kind of glad that it's not going to happen this episode. Will we see Ahsoka next time? I think we will. Maybe in the start of the next episode, Gideon will show up, and then we'll have a fight. But for now, we'll see. Cause I'm kind of worried for next episode. We don't know what's gonna happen. We're going to a Jedi temple. We have no footage to like reference to what's gonna happen, so it's all brand new. I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, we'll see. I don't I think we've used up all of our rumors except for I don't know, maybe some Captain Rex, but I doubt that's gonna happen. So yeah, this is a long video. I have to let it go now. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.